We begin tonight with coffee and the star of the massive multi-billion-dollar industry. Whether or not you call yourself a Starbucks fan, it is nearly impossible to avoid the coffeehouse chain. It is the world's largest, a daily pit stop for millions of Americans. But Starbucks is not without competition, and their foes are eager to see them fail. And that may have happened if it wasn't for the man you are about to meet, who returned to his roots to rescue the brand he built. It wasn't long ago that Starbucks was reeling.
For the first time ever, Starbucks is reporting a decline in customers visiting its stores.
Starbucks announced that it is shutting down hundreds of coffee shops across the country.
As the recession squeezed American incomes, $4 lattes seemed like a crazy indulgence to a lot of people, and mighty Starbucks, 16,000 stores around the world, was facing a reckoning. But there was more, something deeper than economics.
You have a company's performance that has not met your expectations, nor mine.
There were just too many Starbucks. It got ridiculous.
Chin up, man. You'll find another job. I tell you what, why don't you apply at the Starbucks on the other side of my desk?
Too much stuff for sale, trinkets and food items and music and stuff. Starbucks was in danger of becoming just another place in fast food America.
I think what's happened in America is there has been a commoditization of neighborhoods through chains. I understand that.
Howard Schultz is the guy who built Starbucks over a quarter century. 2 years ago, as things looked grim and Schultz had returned to day-to-day control after stepping away for a few years, we talked with him in Seattle. He knew what was coming.
We were the darling of Wall Street for more than a decade, and now we're on the other side of that.
Sure enough, Wall Street hammered Starbucks. Its stock price, once more than $30 a share, collapsed to $9 a share last year. And people wondered, was America sick of Starbucks?
I've been living on coffee and nicotine.
At Starbucks' annual meeting last week in Seattle, Sheryl Crow sang for shareholders.
Thank you.
And Howard Schultz was singing a very different tune.
There's no finish line. We're not celebrating victory, but the company is extremely healthy, robust.
Starbucks is back.
Good to see you again. Pleasure. How you been?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Starbucks has reported record quarterly earnings on $2.7 billion in revenue.
2 years of struggle, and now you've got this message to deliver. You've got to feel like a survivor?
I wouldn't use that word. No. I feel like it's a surprising word for me, because we survived the financial crisis. But it wasn't survival that brought the company back. What it was our values. And kind of finding our voice again.
It was a painful process. Schultz closed hundreds of stores, laid off thousands of employees, slashed the company's costs by $500 million.
Fear is a great motivator. And there was a concern about the trajectory of the business at the time, the financial crisis, and where things might go. And I think it reminded me of what it was like when we started the business.
So Schultz tried to refocus the company on coffee and on what he calls the experience of Starbucks. Service, a neighborliness, a quiet, friendly, even special place. It worked because, he argues, people actually love their Starbucks.
I think people underestimated the resiliency of the brand, the emotional connection that we have to our customers.
But times have changed irrevocably. You can find premium coffee lots of places now. McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts got in the game. Cheaper, too. And then there are the consequences of Starbucks just being so gigantic. Starbucks is a fixture in the American landscape and inevitably a focus of controversy. Starbucks is now the latest battleground in the gun control debate. Gun control activists want the company to prohibit customers from carrying guns into the stores. It's really become a symbolic battle for the soul of Starbucks, and it makes Schultz uncomfortable.
In the last few weeks, We woke up one day and all of a sudden Starbucks was in the middle of this political crossfire between the people who want to bring a gun into Starbucks and the people who want to prevent it. It's a very difficult, fragile situation. We're trying to abide by the law.
The law in most states allows people to carry guns in public with certain restrictions. But is that really Starbucks? In Howard Schultz's original vision of Starbucks, though, could you see people around with guns?
No, certainly not. But I'm not a politician. I run a coffee company, and we're trying to abide by the laws in which we do business.
A core part of Starbucks' identity is healthcare. For 20 years, Starbucks employees have gotten comprehensive health insurance from the company, even if they only worked part-time. It was a signature policy, but in time became the company's biggest U.S. expense, more than coffee itself, $300 million a year. And in the recession, Wall Street told Schultz to cut it.
People said to you,
Yeah.
get out of this healthcare.
Yeah, this is people said to me inside and outside the company, you have license to do this. You'll never have an opportunity like this again. And no one will criticize you. Everyone will understand. And this cut at the cloth of everything we've stood for 39 years. I wouldn't do it.
So Schultz has, it seems, steered Starbucks out of the troubled waters of the recession. But what lies ahead?
Bring out your iced tall chai tea latte.
Do you think the Starbucks moment is over?
Yeah, I think the moment when it was at the very center of not the American economy, but kind of the American consciousness, and where it sort of like a star had a luster that it threw off, I think that moment's over.
Brian Simon is sort of a Starbucks expert, a professor of American Studies at Temple University and author of Everything But the Coffee, Learning About America from Starbucks. We talked at Cafe Grumpy in New York City, one of those local coffee shops springing up that seek to be the anti-Starbucks.
Can Starbucks go back again and recapture that cachet that you think they've lost?
I think that's really hard. I think when you sell culture and you sell values, it's by nature kind of ephemeral. It has a shelf life, and Starbucks might have lived out its shelf life.
Howard Schultz disagrees, of course, but he gets that something's changed about Starbucks.
The truth is that we used to arrive in a city and there'd be a lot of fanfare, almost recognition in terms of a city or neighborhood's validity. Starbucks is ubiquitous, and so as a result of that, I think we have to do more to demonstrate to the neighborhood the authenticity of our commitment to the neighborhood.
How do you package authenticity? Starbucks has redesigned stores and even opened up a couple of so-called stealth Starbucks, like Roy Street Coffee in Seattle, where they serve beer and wine and feature local music and film.
They have a lot of local events. They show movies on Wednesdays and Sundays.
And there are big plans for growth, instant coffee, more Starbucks coffee on more grocery store shelves, more outlets for its lower-cost subsidiary, Seattle's Best, and yes, more Starbucks stores, especially overseas.
You've built the company twice now.
No one said it exactly like that, but I appreciate that, and I feel very gratified.
When we finished, the hard-driving, highly caffeinated Schultz got himself another coffee.
To go.
To go.
Good day. Thank you all.